52 Evolution, man. We gonna start doing a little bit of more of these, man. After a good workout, I'm gonna talk about my man, Pernell Whitaker. Sleep Pete. Rest in peace to the king. You know,
R.I.P. Black Magician.
it's a sad tragedy that he died by getting hit by a car, man. But when it's your time, it's your time, you know. We don't know when we're gonna go. He definitely left a legacy behind. One of the best to do it the way he did it.
Talk about it. Talk about the man's attributes, his will. Like, you know, when we talking about Pernell Whitaker, we talking about a phenomenon. When you the creme de la creme, you know, when you the cream of wheat, when you the top of the top.
Yes, sir.
And what brought him that was his defense. You know, Pernell was not known for power punching. You know, he wasn't the one punch laid you out.
Mm-hmm.
But because of his defense and his ability to open you up, he can punch, you know, he can punch you from these crazy odd angles and areas that you couldn't cover with snapping ability. And he was a mean son of a bitch in there. Let's just get it laid out to the point. He was a mean son of a bitch in there. You elbow Pernell, you got two elbows. You hit him low, he hit you low twice. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like he was the, you know, you start comparing him to a Mayweather. Okay, what's going on?
Come on, man. Do it, Jay.
He's messing the box up. He's hot. But compare him to someone like a Mayweather who's more cautious. Like Mayweather is very cautious in there, and his defense is cautious. Now Pernell had a reckless defense, but it was scientific. But he took more chances, and like I said, he was a mean bitch in there. And he also mastered one of the hardest things to master in boxing, which is reverse polarity. The ability to fuck you up while going backwards.
Yeah,
moving backwards.
Did that for a whole fight one time, right?
Julio Cesar Chavez. He had to do it against him because the thing with Julio is if you came forward, Julio ate you. He just ate you up. You couldn't fight Julio going forward or in the pocket because that's what he did. But you see when Pernell fought him using his reverse polarity, you seen Julio having to throw long right hands, and really he looked retarded. Like I've never seen Julio Cesar Chavez having to punch at a long range, but because the way Pernell did him, he had to, and he looked terrible. And you know, I think Pernell exposed him at that level that, you know, Julio had no real mid to long range. He kind of had to lean on you and chop you down like a lumberjack, but you know, still a great skill, not knocking Chavez. But we also look at him coming out, you know, of the Olympics, you know, with the team. I think he had Meldrick Taylor, you know,
some of the best,
Holyfield. Yeah, some of the best he came out with, and they questioned all of them and said, who do you think will have the best career? And all of them said Pernell Whitaker. And it was the reason.
I think he would have excelled even further if he wouldn't have started sniffing coke. And, you know, he was on the down.
We're gonna let him go on that one. You know,
I mean, gotta keep it real, man. You gotta keep it real, man. It's pop. Like at the end of the day, baby, the only mistakes you could really.
Well, listen, there ain't no machine cocaine can't break down. And
just don't use drugs, baby.
Yeah, you know,
stay away.
If you want to take something away from Pernell as a young fighter coming up, is if you're using your temple to make your paycheck, you can't abuse the temple. If you know, if I got to use this to make my money, then you got to treat it with 100% respect.
Keep it pure.
And keep it pure. You know, Mayweather. That's what I give Mayweather. When you think about black fighters, like, you know, what Mayweather really did, why I say the best ever is because, you know, no drug cases, no drug problems, no alcoholic problems. You know, outside the ring, he's in the strip club with a glass of water. You know, like things that black fighters just didn't do, and that's why, to me, he's TBE, not just about. Yeah, he got that thing with the baby mama. Okay, you know, he roughed up his baby mama. All right, you know what I'm saying. But when you look at it on the whole, you were looking at Sugar Ray Robinson, who the lady that took care of him in the end, he used to beat the shit out of him. You know, Sugar Ray Robinson was a known womanizer. You know, Sugar Ray Leonard had a cocaine problem. You know, Pernell Whitaker had a cocaine problem. And so, like when you look at Mayweather as a black fighter, and he's everything because he represents the true fighter at his purest form. No steroids, no cocaine, no alcohol, no 18 baby mamas. He got one baby mama. You know what I'm saying? He got a lot of girlfriends, but one baby mama. And, he did it right, and that's why his money will never run out. You know what I'm saying? Tyson beat up 365 million. That's like Brewster's Million. Remember that movie, Brewster's Million? Where he had to spend all that money?
A week.
Yeah, that's what Tyson did. You know what I'm saying? So you got to give it up to Mayweather.
MC Hammer, he was a loan shark. They ain't getting no loans back.
So it's easy to beat that money up. But getting back on subject, Pernell Whitaker, one of the greatest defensive fighters ever. And, we're going to give him a 5-second moment of silence. Rest in peace to the great. There'll never be another defensive fighter like him. He tried to pass the information to Zab Judah. It didn't do too well, and I thought it was going to be a good combination when he was training Zab. I think he trained Zab for like 2 fights, but their egos probably got in the way, because they're both southpaw. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Pernell had a whole different type of style,
yeah.
Man. And just like I was going to touch on before we ended, on what you thought about him, like as far as defensively, is getting low in the stance, being able to slip and get out of the crouching positions that he put himself in. I mean, usually for us, that's unorthodox to be in a position where you basically squatting.
Yeah. There's 3. This is a workout. There's 3 basic body types. You got the heavy top. I forgot what that's called. The Morpheus House.
Ecomorph.
Yeah, the heavy top. Then you got the heavy bottom, and then you got pretty much the balance. If you look at Pernell, he was a heavy bottom. He had a small top, but look at his bottom, heavy base. So it was easy for him to get real low and achieve levels of lowness that, there was one fight the ref had to tell him to get up because the other fighter just wasn't getting down there. It's like it was nothing he could do with Pernell down there because he couldn't bend that low. So Pernell, and to me, it was the engine of his footwork, great footwork, but his bottom top, his bottom half was strong. It was built great, bigger than his upper half, and it helped him to move and do those type of low ducking and ill pulling back. That is no-nos. Yeah. Like some of the stuff Pernell did is the no-nos of boxing, but when you that good and you understand, it's like Neo in the Matrix. When you understand the laws, you can bend them. You know what I'm saying? He understood the laws, so he was able to bend them.
And it's not only about that, it's about bending them when you need to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not doing it excessively, doing it when you need to do it, when somebody at least expected and catching them. I mean, that's the worst punch in boxing. The ones you don't see coming.
Yeah. Well, boxing is not textbook. Like, you can take 10 men, teach them all the same basic fundamentals of boxing, jazz, and watch one of them, he's going to be something different. The information you give him is not going to look like jab, straight, hook, because he comes through it and it changes, and that's what you have to do, and that's why a lot of boxers really don't make it, because if you stay in the textbook frame of it, which is good, you're a textbook boxer, but to be a fighter, you have to come through the textbook.
Adaptation.
Yeah, you have to come through. Ali's, the Pernells, they all knew the same shit that everybody else knew. Meldrick Taylor, they knew, but why they look so different? Like, why was their energy?
Practice.
Well, it was them. They come through. Even Adrian Broner, like him, hate him or love him, he comes through. His style. Mayweather came through his style. So if the style sits on top of you like bad clothes, you're just gonna look funny. Or like they said, the right dude, he can take any clothes and make it look good. Like the right female can go, in the $10 store, come out with a $10 dress. You think that shit was Gucci the way she put it together.
It looked good on her.
It looked good on her. So that's how you got to do your fighting system. You got to tailor fit it to you. It can't just be like big clothes on you. You got to tailor fit it. Like my style, the Burley style, is tailor fit to me. So a lot of people can say, I see flaws in your style because it don't look regular. But when you get in front of me, I'm telling you, it's different. It hit different.
Yes, sir.
It hit different.
And it hit different, and the variation of switches where you can adapt on the fly in the transition of it. You you can go from
Yeah.
1 to 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, and that's what you need in boxing. You need conditioning. You need legs. You need balance. You need core. You need all these things, man.
And you
that's,
need to study.
Yeah.
You need to study, because that'll help you switch through phases. In certain fights, I gotta be Roberto Duran. Sometimes I gotta beat George Ben.
Hands
You
of
know what I'm
stone.
saying? Sometimes I gotta be Hagler on. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I gotta be Benitez. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I gotta
Willie
be
Pep.
Carlos Zarate, Willie Pep. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta be a student of the game so you can see the high points of these men and use them and adapt them and bring them into the fight so you can face different opponents, because there's a pool of information out there with boxing as far as like fighters that came through their style. You know what I'm saying? The Salvador Sanchez. You know what I'm saying? Anybody who ain't studying Salvador Sanchez, crazy. This man was amazing. Ruben Oliveras.
Longevity.
You know
Who you told me had, what's the guy name? He said that had the most wins, but they didn't really never recognize him. Dude from back in the days.
What you talking about? You talking about the old mongoose.
Mongoose.
You know what I'm saying? The old mongoose. Who's the old mongoose? You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna look in the comments to see who knows who the old mongoose is. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause if you're a student of the art, you know who the old mongoose is. He's the man that helped George Foreman get his defense. So I just gave you a little hint. Now here's another question out there for the students of the game. Name one boxer, and I've asked this question before, so let's see if you're paying attention. Name a boxer that's knocked out a son and a father. Meaning he knocked out the father, the son started boxing, became a professional boxer, and he knocked out his son too. Name the boxer who did that. Put that in the comments if you're a real student. And the first person that I see put up the right answer, I'm sending you a 52 block t-shirt just because you're a student of the game.
Or hat.
Or a hat. Whichever one is made first. So, thank you for joining and watching another episode of the Box Talk. We started off talking about Purnell, rest in peace Purnell. We went to other subjects. That's how it's